It's time for The Balcony, the show that spotlights independent artists from all over the United States and now the world. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Here you are, The Balcony.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Balcony Show. I'm your host, Dan Thatcher, and I'm here with my co-host, Andrew Chervik. Say hi.
Hi.
Super stoked. Have a great show for you folks lined up this evening.
We have a South African on the show.
We do.
Very nice chop.
Cool band, Raised by Wolves. They were in studio with us tonight,
Yeah,
so you're going to love.
right out of the jungle. It was pretty cool.
No, they really
The
are.
singer's name's Baloo. No?
Untrue.
I thought it was Baloo.
Untrue.
I heard the drummer's name's Mowgli.
So, okay, a lot of great things happening for The Balcony Show. 4 awards, sir.
Baby!
And not to mention, like, buku awards for your studio people.
My peeps are the best peeps of peeps that could be peeps.
What's Leah up for 7 or something like that? Leah Falls?
Something like that.
And then you're up for 2 with
plus balconies
that's 4 there. There's 6. Then Reese Mills is up for 1.
Reese baby.
So, are you ready for tonight's hashtag? No. Hashtag Oven Elf.
Oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna walk out of the room. You do this. I hate that damn.
This is from Buzz. Brittany Meese, she told her family that their elf had taken a bad fall and had broken his leg, so got a rest for 14 days so she doesn't have to move him. Well, her kids were keeping a very close eye on those 14 days, and she realized that she had forgotten to move the elf when big day number 15 came. She hid him in the oven.
Great place to hide him.
This busy mother forgot she had the poor elf in the oven and managed to actually cook him.
That's an even better place to hide
while
him.
her son, Gray, watched in horror.
Nice! Scar that little bastard.
I preheated the oven and started cleaning the kitchen. About 4 minutes later, I started to smell something, and that's when all hell broke loose and I broke my son's heart. In mid-conversation, I yelled, "Fucking elf is in the oven!" Can you? And there's pictures, so I will definitely post the link. Brittany rushed in to help me get him out, and Gray came into the kitchen with excitement, thinking our elf was back, but his world fell apart as we were using kitchen utensils to get our burnt and melting elf out of the damn oven. Their elf was literally decapitated, and his feet melted off in the accident.
Nice! Burn that sucker.
I have to call Santa in front of the kids and ask him if he will please pick up Alphys tonight, since he isn't able to make it to the North Pole to get fixed because his head literally popped off from being too hot.
The elf is on fire. We don't need no water.
We're not sadists or anything, and we do feel sorry for the traumatized children, but this is the funniest elf story we've heard to date.
I started an organization, PAVE.
PAVE?
Yeah, Parents Against Elves. we meet. It's a 12-step program. Yeah, PAVE. So if you want to join PAVE, cost you a bottle of scotch. We hang out and we just drink. And then we come up with ways, but this is a great way to burn that.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
You got to go. Seriously, folks, check out our Facebook page because you're going to want to see the link and the pictures.
I'm going to start posting these on Facebook just to let all the little kids just hate that damn thing. That snuck that.
So anyways,
right.
I'm going to get out of here and let's take a listen to our first song of the evening from Leaders of the Clubhouse, Lawn Chairs.
I sit and watch my neighbors stock their basements full of food. 10-pound bags of rice and flashlights showing attitude. Some are running out of town, others pray to be rescued. But I'm okay, I just see things a different way. It could be doomsday, but I won't care. You'll find me sitting there in my lawn chair. Strong prayer won't help you now, we're all on the same ground. Lawn chair for you and me. On there, TV clowns are saying get out of town. Lawn chairs are all I need. If you go, how would you know if your odds will improve? What's the point of getting onto roads that will not move. If you thought they had a shot, well, you should go there too. But I'm okay, I just see things a different way. It could be doomsday, and I won't care. You'll find me sitting there in my lawn chair. Strong prayers won't help you now, we're all on the same ground. Lawn chair for you and me. On air, those TV clowns are saying get out of town. Lawn chair, all I need. They interrupt my program for an emergency broadcast. If this is not just a test, we'll know soon if we pass. But if this is it, there's books to read and time enough at last. Yeah, I'm okay, I just see things a different way. It could be doomsday, and I won't care. You find me sitting there in my lawn chair. Strong prayer, it won't help you now, we're all on the same ground. Lawn chair for you and me. On air, all those clowns, well, they should get out of town. Lawn chair, all I need.
All right, you're back here on PAIF. Welcome to PAIF.
Welcome to PAIF.
You know,
The secret meeting of
secret meeting of PAIF. Parents against elves. I won't say it. I don't want to be monominated. All right, but we're gonna go on to like the fun part of this evening now. Raised by
Seriously.
Wolves. Oh.
really, really cool. They're out of Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right, so this is Mirror by
Raised by
yeah,
Wolves.
those guys, Raised by Wolves. Yeah, I'm thinking still of the Falafel Man and Fred and Fatima from Philly. All right, so take a listen. We'll be right back.
We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. We gotta look in the mirror. Stop looking at me. We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. One finger finger pointing at you, three pointing back at me. We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. Is that my enemy or my reflection looking at me? Why would I lie to you? We got to think this through. We know it's true because we've been here before. Why would I walk away? I know just what you'll say. Cut me to pieces while I stand in the door. I don't wanna know if you're okay, because if the answer's no, it means I'm doing the same. We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. We gotta look in the mirror. Stop looking at me. We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. One finger pointing at you, three pointing back at me. We gotta look in the mirror. We don't like what we see. Is that my enemy or my reflection looking at me? Why would I lie to you? We gotta think this through. We know it's true because we've been here before. Why would I walk away? I know just what you'll say. Cut me to pieces while I stand in the door. I don't wanna know if you're okay, because if the answer's no, it means I'm doing the same.
All right, while they're all clearing their throat, welcome back to the balcony. We're here with a bunch of wackos from Philadelphia, raised by wolves.
So we have Vinny, Michael, and Johan. Welcome, dudes.
Thank you.
So our listeners just heard your first song, Mirror. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. And this song actually, I've never written a song like this before with anyone. This song actually started with a drum beat and the drummer basically humming a melody in my ear to say, hey, I have this idea. And I
Are you sure you weren't having a moment there?
I was having a moment. I mean, but this actually happened. Somewhere I still have a recording of when he originally said this idea. To me, it was a very challenging way to take on writing a song. Just starting with a drum beat and building from there. I've never done that before, being a guitar player, and Johan probably say this too, being a guitar player. But this started with a drum beat, which I think is why it ended up so funky, because it started
it is
with
really funky. I like that kind
kind of the rhythm in mind. And I don't know, do you want to talk a little bit about like what was in your head when you gave it to me?
Well, yeah, I mean, so I don't want to say I'm not very musical, but I just don't have a ton of music theory background. If I wrote something, it would be really boring, right? It would be 1-4-5, boring, C major, right? Grade school, chopsticks. So
Hey, I think you're dissing my songs.
So,
Come on, that's all my songs on C major. What are you talking about?
so I had to turn to Vinny and Johan. And Johan says he just doesn't have a funky bone in his body, which is not true. But so I turned to Vin because I knew it was kind of his speed. And I was like, I'm picturing something funky. It's kind of like this. And you just kind of hum it out. And then he's like, okay, I see what I can do with it.
So why Mirror then? Why?
Well, it started with a lyric too.
Yeah, I did this whole look in the mirror thing. I always say it's about duality of self, but kind of like you could be your own worst enemy. So some of the things that you do really well and that are great, the next minute you can do something that short circuits it and sabotages it. And so it was kind of like, take a look at yourself before you're complaining and before you're blaming someone else. And then just that theory, I guess, turned into what the song was, Looking in the Mirror. And my original melody was awful, but
We have it somewhere.
Actually, I think the
we'll
melody.
wait for the song to be known, and then we'll let it out there a little.
Bad. Yeah. I think the melody in your head was pretty good. Your ability to sing it, though, was
yeah, it's
not,
a special
yeah,
voice.
It's
I
a
have.
special.
Yeah, yeah.
He
it's a
just
special.
called you tone deaf.
Oh, yeah.
He's a drummer. He's a drummer.
Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, they are.
He's not beat deaf though. At least there's like lots of good beats coming from this guy.
So that's really cool. Then you guys collaborate on your songs. Then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is neat because then you all kind of own it. It's not just one person's song.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
but it's
absolutely.
but it's also better because when you've written songs for a long time, it kind of comes out the same way, right? And then you start to get really hard on yourself. It's like, oh, come on, can I write something a little different? And us just bringing our ideas together ends up in really unusual places. And we get a little bit of flavor of all the different personalities that we bring to the band, which just makes it better and more interesting, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Vin said the whole challenge thing. And I said, here's what I'm thinking, something kind of Radiohead-ish. I'm not afraid to be a little derivative, right? Because it spawns an idea, right? And then he's like, well, crap, I guess I can make this into something, right? And what he came back with is not near what was in my head, which is great.
So how did you get the name Raised by Wolves? Where did that come from? Here's this funky beat coming.
Yeah.
And then our listeners are going to get the treat of hearing some of your other stuff, which
Yeah.
is different. You know what I mean? And I love your music. I have to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did this collaboration, Raised by Wolves, where did that come from?
It's all Johan.
I think
When Johan was a little boy in South Africa,
yes!
his mother was going to go to the grocery store.
Now, if you don't tell your story,
Okay,
gonna-
you guys tell it. I'll reel it back and just like put
that's
some
not
like
far
truth
off.
to it.
Actually, it's that line. We batted around a bunch of different names, which because by that point we had a few songs under our belt, and we were trying to figure out what this thing could be and kind of what the feeling was. And we batted around a lot of names that didn't work. But my dad used to say to me when I was a kid, this phrase stuck in my head all the time, when I didn't clean my room or basically when I had terrible manners or whatever. He said, "What are you, raised by wolves?" And it's just kind of one of the things I always remember. And then the three of us getting together started to exhibit some of those same, mannerisms.
Pack-like mentality.
He's being very nice to me here.
It's all Johan, man.
Basically,
I heard they go to Outback.
let's
They
just
go to
say
Outback and order raw steaks.
Johan is very unrefined.
Our
And so no.
No.
There we go.
No.
They're gonna chew it right now.
When you grow up in Africa, you have to be like a certain way to survive, right? You
no,
here
we don't know.
We don't know. You're a bush baby?
No, come on, man. It's like you're roughing it. You're out there. You're in the outdoors.
Okay.
It's lions. It's like wild animals. And I grew up on a farm surrounded by these type of things. And there are certain customs that for me is like not unusual, which they found incredibly weird.
All right.
And it's like,
now you gotta give us one.
Give
you
us
gotta
one.
give us one.
okay, so there was the epiphany moment, right? We were. Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to tell the story, but I'll tell it.
I'm afraid for what you're going to say.
I love it. This is example.
This is example. This is really this was the epiphany moment where it came from. Me and Vinny was sitting having a coffee at a break at work, and we were working together at that time. And you had some dental work, and there was another colleague of ours that also had the same dental work going on, and they were talking dental talk. And I'm just observing this discussion and reflecting on the sophistication of how this and I raised the idea that I removed my braces myself when I was at school, because I was just like, I'm not having, because it's always going to be 6 months, and then it was like another 3 months, and then it always is longer than what. And I told the dentist, it's like, and dude, I signed up for 6 months. It's already 9 months. Take it off. And he said, no, I'm not taking it off because it's not straight. I said, if you're not going to take it off, I'm going to take it off. And he didn't take it off, and I ended up going home and taking it off myself with a pair of pliers. And then he was saying, you're raised by wolves. But it's a principle thing. It's like, signed up for 6 months. It's already 9 months. You wanted to go even longer. So that was a moment.
Mine
So, yeah,
got
he's
knocked
got-
off my face during wrestling season.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, his cross face and bang.
There you go. You see, it comes off pretty easy.
You had
Actually.
6 months. I was in it for 6 years.
6
I'm
months.
still in them. I'm at midlife.
While we were all
But
playing
like-
tag, he was like hunting wild boar.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
really what
much,
it
pretty
came
With a
down
spear.
to.
But that was kind of the
With a
origin,
pen.
and
Yeah.
then I think maybe why we all gravitated towards it too is in a musical context, you know, like when you're raised by wolves, you don't have any sense of propriety or what you should be doing, right? And that's exactly how we approach it as a band. Like we have no idea what we should be or what our songs should sound like or trying to fit anything. It's just we experiment and we're not afraid to go places, you know, that more refined people or people that were raised by humans would say, no, you know, that's not a thing that you should do.
Actually, pack mentality is, if you read about wolves and stuff like that, you'll find that they really, really are very intelligent, and they do have a hierarchy, and everything about them is just absolutely fantastic. So really, it is an homage to them to be producing great music.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'll take Raised by Wolves anytime.
All right.
I run with wolves.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
It's not a very unique name though, so to differentiate, you have to become a little bit innovative on the album names. So because there's lots of other
there's a
Raised
few
by
other,
Wolves.
bands by that name.
But so what do you think kind of, I mean, you were just saying that, you know, you're writing from different perspectives, but your songs do kind of fit, you know, a genre per se. What leads you down to going that road of where you are? Is it just a comfortability factor? I mean, why didn't you go country or, like you said, rap, or, you know, your music has similar feel through it.
Okay.
You know, how are you trying?
We haven't gotten there yet.
You haven't done those raps in the country yet?
Well, if you listen, there's another song of ours, Believe, which has a strong country sort of feel to it. And that's because of
folky,
it's you know, it's sort of that guitar, you know, the guitar tone that you use on there is like very like Nashville. And we're busy with a new track which at the moment is just called Foo Halen. It's like a mix between like Foo Fighters and, you know, with the energy of Van Halen from that
So
sort of
all
80s
our songs
glam.
have working titles while they're being built.
What's that though?
Foo Halen,
It all
I'll be waiting for Foo Halen.
yeah, it's 148 beats per minute, and it's like really very energetic, which is the Van Halen part, and then it's got a lot of like really loud guitars, which is the Foo Fighters part, and in there's a breakdown piece which he's gonna rap on for us. So we're just not there yet.
We're just not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, Vin and I definitely have like rap background. I was a cheesy '80s rap guy, you know, like Run DMC.
No, that was good rap.
UTFO,
That
Public
was
Enemy.
great
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and
Oh yeah.
and it's like, so we'll talk about rap, and Johan's like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Rapper's
But
Delight.
Oh, yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Run
But
DMC.
it
Absolutely.
influences like
Yeah.
How
the
the
music.
heck did
so.
you guys get together? I mean, how did
That's a-
this form?
That's a great question. we have really, I think, we had no
They
idea
still
if it was
don't
going
know.
to work. Yeah, we still don't know, really.
Well, we keep showing up in this basement.
What's so interesting is I think we bring different styles, but we have completely different interpretations of things too, which just makes it constant. Like even the example he just brought up, this working title of the song we're working on right now, we're calling it Foo Halen. I wrote this song, and I hear the song and the sort of the vein that the song is in, and I hear Foo Fighters, and he hears it, and he goes, "Yeah, it sounds like Van Halen." And I'm going, "How the heck did you get to that place? We're hearing the same song, but it's because of just the lens of what we grew up on and what we hear. You know, we hear things in different ways. So it's not only like what I bring; it's how he reacts to what I bring that kind of takes it where it goes. You know."
And the funny thing is, for me, I hear like that old '90s grunge metal kind of crossover time.
Yeah.
And I hear that. And
Yeah.
but you know, I feel like we have like that '90s thing as kind of our glue. When you said like the style, I feel like that's the thing that's kind of
Yeah,
driving it.
maybe.
Yeah, but then also, I mean, most bands, you're usually pulling from people from a certain region. But I mean, you went to a whole nother continent and have another member,
Yeah.
and that's got to be different in a great way because
Totally.
your perspective is nothing like growing up in the States.
Totally.
That's
the,
true.
The music you listen to and the things which you bring that into a band, that's got to take you different direction. It has to. There's no way it can't.
yeah, and I haven't even brought the African styles to the band yet. We'll get there as well.
You
which
still
like-
bring that 23-note Zimbabwe scale or whatever that thing is. Oh my lord!
Well, the first
he's
time we
trying.
ever got together to jam, you know, and if you're with somebody and you're trying to say, you know, what should we play? Should we do original stuff? Should we do covers? And I'm asking him, like, you heard of Tom Petty? No. You heard of Sublime? No. You heard of Jack Johnson? These are all groups that I was into,
Right, yeah.
songs I was playing. You heard of Jack Johnson? No. I'm like, what music got to South
I
Africa?
grew up in apartheid South Africa. There was censorship, people. So there's only very little that reached our ears.
Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis barely made it through, but yeah, Elvis was there.
Right.
I was.
It's got to be different though. Like you said,
Yeah.
growing up, you weren't exposed. You were exposed to a different style or a different culture with different music.
Absolutely, but there's a big British influence on the music in South Africa, and if he names the British bands, I'll know all of them. But the American bands is something that I wasn't really exposed to, and it's kind of a shame because if you think of the Led Zeps and you think of Pete Townsend, etc., they were all trying to imitate like the blues artists from America. So I got used to the imitation of the blues, and for me coming here and getting exposed to like the real thing and like a deeper sort of level of grassroots American music has been a fantastic experience because you just get connected to that roots from where all music stems from and gets created. But I've always liked the experimentation and how the electronics and how technology is added to music to take it to even further places, right? And you could think of Pink Floyd and their early influences in the whole audiovisual show, and for me, sort of Radiohead's a big influence in the same way of how they're using technology and combining that. So that was always sort of my central mantra, and that's when he said, like, put a Radiohead little lick on there. I was like, oh yeah, this is down my alley. I could do that.
Well, I've kind of said it a few times, which I don't know, Vin, if you like it, but I always say, like, if it was like just Vinny and I, it wouldn't be really that interesting music, and so Johan brings like that different twist that I think makes it interesting.
Absolutely.
I don't like it when you say that.
I know,
but it's true.
I'm sorry.
Well, if
Just
there was
probably why
only
I
them
don't like
making
it.
music, it would be very funky and very beat driven. It's
Right.
like you guys have like a different level of
Yeah, but see, it works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So the next song we're going to hear from you guys is "Come Alive." Tell our listeners a little bit about what this one's about.
So this is the first song that we worked on as a band, and the first one we laid down, and it's the first working title was Idea Number 7, and that at the time I was working on the Pink Floyd influence on a concept album which I haven't completed yet, and this actually reminded me that it's still work that I need to complete. about I was so touched by this American exposure to American music at the time, and I was saying, okay, I want to tell a story about a guy that wakes up in the morning, gets in a car crash, gets taken to the hospital in an ambulance, and then this Native American individual takes him on this journey of realization, and there's certain key themes that he gets exposed to about
It's called LSD.
well, it's a musical LSD experience, if you like. And one of the ideas, at that time, Mike is, you play drums, the normal like courtship initially of a band. And I sent a couple of the ideas over to see if this guy could actually play. And he came. Well, come on, you first, you like scope each other out. Come on. Yeah, exactly. He came back with this idea of drums, which sounded like really good. And then he kept hounding me. He really liked this idea. Said we have to do something with it.
The Blue Man Group.
And then it evolved. What I did is I put an arpeggiator on it, like the Who, Bobo O'Reilly, etc. That sort of the runs, and it ended up sounding like that polypropylene like thing that the Blue Man Group did, and then we called it the Blue Man Group song. I said, okay, we need to lay it down, and at the time I see you have the Queen, the Bohemian Rhapsody piece up there. I listened to Brian May talk through how they produced Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah.
And it's this like Master Records, and it's about a 20-minute clip which I would recommend all musicians go and listen to. It's fantastic. And he was talking about how Freddie, John, and Roger had laid down the rhythm track like beginning to end. Freddie was on the piano and the drums and the bass, and we said, hey, we need to lay down this rhythm track from beginning to end, to have that feel and have the flow, whilst playing to a click, which is really tough to do. Because it's like old school style. These days you can like copy paste and whatnot, and it gets a little mechanical very quickly, which we tried to move away from in that song. And we did a couple of takes, chose the best one, and that became the basis of what now. It's just got such a good feel about how the interpretation and how we're playing it.
It was the first one we ever did together, and I think I love it because it was before we thought about anything. We didn't even literally when we were recording that song. I don't even think we knew if we were going to be a band. We didn't have a name, and there was no thinking about where it was going to go. It was just let's lay down the best track we can lay down from this idea we just worked out from beginning to end.
Yeah, complete
All right.
spontaneity.
So let's take a listen to Come Alive, and we'll be right back with Raised
By wolves. right, you're back on the balcony with Raised by Wolves. So, why did you let our listeners know, like, some of your social media sites?
Yeah, sure. So, I guess first and foremost, if you want to listen to the record, the debut EP is out. It's called Shine's Imperfection. It's basically on all the streaming services,
You're gonna
iTunes.
want it.
You
You're
want to
gonna
buy?
want it.
Yeah, and it's funny when you start a new band, you don't realize how many bands out there with the same name until you start it. And then we put the album out, and then immediately we got contacted by other bands by the same name, like, "Hey, man, your album's on our site. Like, get it off of our site." So,
We're sorry.
Yeah, you can Shine's Imperfection. Is the name of the EP.
The opposite of
If you
perfection.
Search on that, right? Not perfect, imperfect. Searching on that'll get it to you. We have a Facebook page, which is Raised by Wolves Philly. We have a Twitter. Johan's a Twitter man.
Oh yeah,
Twitter
man! I'm
handle.
doing this Twitter business, which is interesting. I'm a little old school in that sense. It's like a like for like thing, right?
Are
So,
you
I
having
love your music.
problems,
Oh, I love
Johan?
your music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah.
We have a site on Reverb Nation, which is a great site for musicians to connect with other musicians.
iTunes, all of the lovely.
Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah, pretty much. So
So get out there, buy it. Shine's
absolutely.
Imperfection. You're going to want to add it to your collection.
Thank you. Please do.
No, what about what do you guys got coming up? I know you're working on Fuhalen. Do you have all
Yeah.
this stuff in the works for new music?
I think creatively we're always busy, right? And there's Fuhalen, which is this really energetic rocky song, which is a little different to what we've done. There's an idea that is we just called Soldier at the moment, which is sort of a we're inspired somewhat by the whole vocal thing, and we wanted to break it down a little bit musically and rely more on like vocal harmonies. So it's sort of a tribute to our veterans in the country, and dealing with the concept of post-traumatic stress disorder and folks that leaves the war or the conflict spaces, but brings a lot of that with them as they reacclimate into society. So that's
what can we look forward to in 2019 from Raised by Wolves?
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be putting out some more music. We recorded 10 songs actually for the last record. Only 6 made the final cut, and we learned a lot of things in the process. So I think we have some other songs that we might want to rework and try to put out in 2019. We're already starting on the second album. We're building up our fan base and trying to get out there and play some shows in 2019. And given the fact that we're all from different places, I came up here from Baltimore not long ago. Johan came from South Africa. This is
He wins.
Yeah, he wins, right? He's the longest. So we're really
sucks.
I came from Mexico this morning. What are you talking about?
So we kind of took a musical pilgrimage to Philly from places where we had roots, and we were playing out a ton, and so we're kind of starting off fresh here and just kind of building what we can in 2019 for us. So hopefully with the support of great people like great fans listening to this show.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to go out with your song Fatima. You want to tell us about that, please?
Well, I could tell you this part. So Johan invites me to come over. So Come Alive was like the first time we really collaborated, but Johan and I talked at work. I knew that Johan and Vinny were playing a little bit together and already done some stuff, and he sends me this thing which is like a
Beautiful.
snake charmer, flying carpet, open sesame kind of thing, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I'm like, and it's all 6'4", and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna lay down a groove.
I do not know what the timing of the opening sequence is, but that is like a.
Were you in the
That-
mushroom fields down in South
That's very different.
Yeah, but it was cool because it was different, right? Intriguing, and I knew Vin was like, "What the hell is this?" and not in a good way, but then we started to meld some ideas there. I see you nodding over there.
Vince still doesn't know what's going on.
You'll tell the story. I would just sum it up this way: when he first shared this song with me, I hated it. Now I only hate that I love it.
Yeah. So it's if you listen to the opening little line of the song, it really is a very very weird time signature, and as I said before, as we're trying to sort of push the limits of the creative stuff we come up with, and that was like very deliberate. Let's do something different, and it sounded absolutely crazy. So I said, okay, it needs a crazy story, and and I reflected back on some of no, don't be afraid.
Be afraid.
But this was the time. So
And where he's about to go, he goes completely sober. Like
Yeah,
this
that's
is,
what
this
I-
is his
I
mind.
know.
Yeah,
True
this is
story.
his mind.
True story.
Yeah.
It happens naturally. It's like I can't help it. It was during the time of the of the primaries of the Democratic and Republican primaries, and there were some like things being said which I thought was a little bit uninformed. And I reflected back on an experience I had working in Israel, and reflected on a big piece of the population in Israel that is Islamic, and 2.2 million of this, 7.9 population of Israel is, follows Islam. So I came up with the story of this guy, Israeli follower of Islam, that wants to win over this girl, Fatima, in America. And because it's often arranged marriages, so the strategy here is not necessarily to win her heart, but to win her parents' heart, so they could agree to the marriage. And, the way he was going to do this was to buy her parents a falafel machine, like the one he saw at the gay parade in Tel Aviv, which I attended one year. Fantastic event, really extravagant. And, he ends up at a Black Friday line trying to get this, and he was
At Walmart.
at Walmart, exactly, and he got beaten out to this falafel, the last
Jordan by the river.
the last falafel machine by a guy called Juan from Mexico. So I just like
You didn't get the machine.
so he lost out on the machine, so he lost the love of his life, but then he fought back to himself and said, I'm gonna get a donut machine instead. So that is the storyline.
Ladies and gentlemen.
but it that's kind of what Vinny did the first time.
At all.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's
Exactly what Vinny did the first time he heard the song. That was his reaction.
Exactly what I did. Yeah.
But it is a song about perspective.
Looking at his face is the best.
Yeah, and the guy's name was Fred. Fred from Israel with the falafel machine.
So yeah, I've
Flirting with Fatima.
the thing about the song though is it's a song about perspective, right? And the core central piece of it is like you decide how you perceive the world, right? And it's a decision you make every time something happens. And this is about you creating your own positive reality. And if you listen to the chorus,
There is no reality in this song.
you can take the story wherever you want to, right? So that's the whole idea.
I'm going to call him Fred Falafel from now on.
Falafel machine.
Ladies and gentlemen, crack is whack.
So that's Fatima.
Well, listen,
From Philly.
I want to thank you guys on a serious note, Raised by Wolves, for joining us on the Balcony Show. I can't wait to hear what you've got coming down the road. And by far, that is the best story of a song I've heard yet. You guys win.
Thanks.
So, with that, I'm going to say goodnight and thanks. And any final shout-outs to anybody?
No, thank you for you guys for having us, and thank you for you guys for supporting independent music, for guys like us out there
fantastic.
trying to be heard. We really appreciate the time and the effort you guys are putting
Shout out
into
to
it.
Fred and his falafels.
The guy got his girl, come on. It's a
Fred
different
Falafel
strategy.
from Philly, who fell in love and flirted with Fatima.
Fatima.
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right, we're going to go out with their song, Fatima, Raised by Wolves. Take a listen, and we'll be right back with the Balcony Show.
Love can be blind, the mind remains right. Which one shouts the loudest, sets like the light? Love can be blind, the mind remains right. Which one shouts the loudest, sets like the light?
titter and tatter. The machine's all that matter. I can't believe that I let her get away over Fatima. Yes, Fatima. Turn on your radio. Got to be where they gotta go with the flow. Meanings in one you show. Lots of things perfect, why don't you know?
Listening to The Balcony Show, proudly produced at Midnight Studios in Easton, Pennsylvania for all your production needs. Check out the website. You're going to want to be a part of it. So over to you, Em, for our Spotlight edition.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Noel, and joining me tonight on Spotlight is Cubbage. What's up, man?
Not much. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you just released a new song on Thanksgiving called
Yes.
Secrets. So do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about the concept behind this song?
It kind of follows a story about somebody who really gave a lot of trust to somebody, and I think everybody's in a situation where they've trusted someone, and whether it was like elementary school where they told you that you were wearing something weird or whatever it is, like big or small, like you give somebody your trust and turn on you, and that's what it's about.
So now,
Yeah.
Did you write this from like a personal experience?
I wrote it specifically for another producer. He's kind of like a house producer, but he makes like singer-songwriter remixes. He was interested in working with me, and so I tried writing something kind of along the lines of that song Island, and I actually made a couple of references to it. So that's kind of where I started with it, and then
Very cool. So this song is out now everywhere for people to purchase. So I definitely recommend them going out and getting it and checking out your music. So what's your social media? Where can we follow you and keep up to date with everything that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's like a great place. I'm always doing stories and stuff,
But yeah, I definitely recommend people following you on Instagram just for your stories, because I'm highly entertained like every night.
Thanks.
So do you have any shows coming up to finish out 2018 or?
Yeah, we have a show on January 5th in Philadelphia at Bourbon and Branch, and then we'll be going out to Pittsburgh to do some video shooting, and we're playing so far DC in the Valley. You can check on cubbagemusic.com for solo stuff.
Well, Cubbage, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your song Secrets with us. So I definitely recommend our listeners following you, buying it, and sharing it. So this is Cubbage with his new single, Secrets.
Back in high school, you and I were one and the same. Skipping class to hit the road and make an escape. Swapping secrets by the side of the bay. Talking about almost embarrassing days. I thought that with you that my words would be safe, but recently I knew that something had changed. And you said that you were the only one I knew that. So give me a reason to give you any trust back. I was an island. I was bearing all the pain on my own. Your lifeboat provided to make it to shore. Telling you was a weight off my chest. Maybe someday you'll live like the rest. Didn't realize that by telling you was taking a chance. And you said that you were the only one that knew that. So give me a reason to give you any trust back. Secrets are the only thing I ever wanted. My secret is the only thing I ever wanted back. Reason to give you any trust back. Secrets are the only thing I ever wanted. Secret is the only thing I ever wanted back. Secrets are the only thing I ever wanted. Secret is the only thing I ever wanted.
All right, and you're back on the Elf Bake Off. We've got 3 teams competing this evening.
This year.
The first one to bake that sucker wins.
Oh, best baked picture.
Send your elf torture pictures to
The balcony at
balcony at
Outlook.com. Let's get this going.
Oh, and the best one.
We could be a stress reliever. See that PAFE stress reliever?
That's right. Parents against elves.
Oh, man, what a show. I got to tell you, I am so excited for the LVMAs and everything that's going on here. And our guitar is finished. So we're going to be raffling that thing, huh?
baby off.
You're going to want to.
You're not allowed to buy a raffle ticket if you do nice stuff to elves. Only if you kill.
But
actually, you know what? If you send in your raffle thing and you buy the bigger amount and you show that you got rid of an elf, we might throw an extra entry for you. I might have to go there.
Andy Trevett giving things away.
As long as I see those suckers dying, boom, boom, boom. The elf is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the mother elfer burn.
Are you done now?
Burn.
Are you done now? Burn. See, I knew you hated it. So when I saw the story, I just was
okay.
like,
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I'm just gonna twitch.
Fear
the elf.
All right. Well, let's get things ended. Finally. Thanks. Big thanks to Raised by Wolves for joining us in the studio.
Cool dudes.
Big thanks to Cubbage for sharing his brand new single Secrets.
Thanks to Emily
and Emily Noel.
Emily, the first of Noel.
She's got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, it's on the 1st.
We got to wreck her.
for Noel.
There you go. No.
Oh no.
No. But we got to get. We got to get her wrecked.
First, Emily Noel.
Okay.
The elf did scream.
Yeah. You know what? Sing yourself goodnight.
Why being tortured?
Sing yourself goodnight.
Good night, you little elf. I hope it hurts when you.
With that, I'm going to say goodnight.
I take out your
Oh, Lord, help me. I have no more words. Anyways, good night. We're going to end things tonight with She from Bohemian Mule. And we'll catch you next week right here on The Balcony Show. Take care, folks. Die, elf, die. Die, elf, die. Die, elf.
She paints a swirl of colors and makes us mellow. She sees life. She won't hurt a fly because her karma serves her well. Missed out in your life, oh yeah. Climb on the shelf, she's such a trippy, hippie girl. Makes you love yourself when you're with her. In the ocean, reflecting sunlight. Her eyes are like a moon, the sun shines so bright within the light. Don't hurt to look at it.